You know, sometimes life throws you into situations so absurd, you almost want to laugh just to keep from crying. That's exactly what happened to a 16-year-old girl named Jasmine, a kid, just trying to live her life, save up for a phone she really wanted, and maybe dream a little bigger than her circumstances. She walked into a local phone store one afternoon, the bell jingling softly as she stepped inside, sneakers squeaking quietly on the clean tile floor. Her eyes immediately landed on the latest rose gold phone, the kind she'd been saving up for, daydreaming about, telling herself one day. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? Just a teenager excited about tech. But then, out of nowhere, the store owner storms out from behind the counter. His face twists into something almost unrecognizable, angry, suspicious, like he'd already made up his mind about Jasmine. "Hey, where do you think you're going with that?" he shouts, his voice cutting through the quiet store. Jasmine freezes for a moment, blinking, confused. "With what?" "My phone. It's just there. I haven't even touched it," she says, trying to stay calm, but inside her heart is pounding, pounding like crazy. But the guy doesn't give her a chance to explain. Instead, he barks out loud, "I got the thief right here," so loud that everyone in the store and on the sidewalk outside can hear. At that moment, the whole store seems to hold its breath. Jasmine's hands shake. She's never felt so scared, so confused. She swears she didn't steal anything, but no one's listening. The man grabs the phone behind the counter and dials 911, practically announcing to the neighborhood, "Bring the cops, I caught a thief." Within minutes, flashing red and blue lights flood the storefront like a chaotic fireworks show. A police officer steps out, looking serious but not curious. He doesn't ask for Jasmine's side. No, he just strides over, grabs her wrist, and snaps on handcuffs. Like she's some hardened criminal, not a scared kid. "Stolen phone," he mutters under his breath, and there's a bitterness in his voice that stings. "You people think you can just walk in and take whatever you want." Jasmine's voice cracks, tears threatening to spill. "I didn't steal anything. You haven't even searched me." But the officer's not interested. "No phone? Then you must have hidden it. Want to confess now?" His words are cold, accusing. She begs, "Can I call my mom, please?" Her fingers tremble as she dials. "One call. Make it quick," the officer snaps. Now here's where things take a turn 10 minutes later. A sleek black SUV screeches to a halt in front of the police station. Out steps a tall woman, her military uniform sharp and crisp, medals glinting on her chest like badges of honor. Her boots hit the pavement with authority, not a step wasted. This is Colonel Vanessa Reynolds, Jasmine's mom. She strides inside the station, voice calm, but cutting like a knife. "Where's my daughter? You arrested her without evidence." The officer's face pales, his confident facade crumbling. "We had a report," he stammers. "Did you find a phone on her?" "No, Vanessa interrupts." "Then why is she handcuffed?" The room goes dead silent. No one has a good answer. Vanessa's eyes don't waver. "You can't just treat people like this. Not without proof, not without respect." Within minutes, Jasmine is released. The officer looks like he wishes he could vanish into thin air. As mother and daughter walk out, Jasmine asks quietly, "Why does it always come to this?" Vanessa places a steady hand on her shoulder. "Because sometimes the world demands proof before offering respect. But remember this, you don't owe anyone your worth. You just have to know it yourself." That should have been the end of it, right? But life had one more twist for Jasmine. Just a few days later, Jasmine and her mom walked back into that same phone store. The bell jingled again, just like before. The shop owner looked up, and for the first time, his confident sneer vanished. His face drained of color, frozen like he'd seen a ghost. He didn't say a word, just stood there behind the counter, eyes wide, silence hanging thick in the air. Vanessa nodded toward the phone display. "Pick whatever you want." Jasmine smiled softly, but this time, she didn't just pick one phone. She picked several, enough for herself, her cousins, and the local youth center that desperately needed them. The stunned silence from the owner was almost deafening as they walked out. On the way home, Jasmine glanced at her mom and said, "That felt good." Vanessa grinned back. The best response to ignorance? Success. You see, Jasmine's story isn't just about a phone or a wrongful accusation. It's about what happens when prejudice meets courage, when injustice meets unwavering strength. It's about the quiet battles so many face every day, battles you might never hear about unless someone tells the story. Now, think about this. How many times do we rush to judge, to assume, without really knowing the facts? How many Jasmines have been silenced, dismissed, or worse? And what does it say about us, about our communities, when those in power forget the basic dignity everyone deserves? This story leaves us with more questions than answers, and maybe that's the point. Was justice served? Or did it take the presence of a powerful woman in uniform to make the system do the right thing? What about all those without a Colonel Vanessa Reynolds to call on? What would you do if you were in Jasmine's shoes? How do you fight back against a world that's ready to assume the worst? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment, share this story if it moved you, and let's start a conversation about respect, justice, and standing up for what's right no matter who you are. Because sometimes, stories like Jasmine's remind us that real strength isn't about fighting louder, but about knowing your worth and refusing to be broken.